And hello, everybody on Twitch. My mic is lighting up. Can some of you lot say something?
Say
Blah,
something.
blah, blah, blah.
Hello there.
Looks good. Excellent. So, yeah, we are getting ready for episode 200 of our show. And as we are letting you guys see for a start, but secondly, see what it's like behind the scenes. We never start off on time as
Except for Tony.
anybody, except for Tony. We never start off on time because there's usually a couple of little bits that we're just finishing up. That's what we're doing right now. But we thought we'd come and hang and say hi, let you see what it's like behind the scenes. This is what the patrons get every week. So if you
If you
Without the
like
video.
it, there's a way to get more.
They get it every week without the video.
Yes.
Well, that's true.
All right.
I'm putting all my dice away. Still haven't done that.
And then I need to do a thing over here. Soul Search, aka Squirrel, waves frantically.
I believe it.
And Archmage William says, hello there. At least I presume that's how he said it. I have no context other than those two words.
Well, you know him. How would he say it?
I do. He would say it exactly like that. So.
Our milky squid snack pot.
I keep
Squid snack.
forgetting to unmute. Get my props ready.
Oh yes, yeah, you're doing an AP, aren't you? Yes, Brickwall
am.
Tony. Brickwall Tony. I can't even hide it.
Off to a good start.
I should have been recording. That's what that.
I am recording because we've got the VOD. So
Oh, okay, all right.
also, Tony, I don't know if you heard this, but we're actually now live on Twitch. We're just waiting for the last few people to pop into the recording booth.
Oh, well then it's a good thing I didn't come down here and insult you like I usually do when we start off the stream. So, I mean,
Tony, you
It's a good
ignorant slut.
you ignorant slut.
Totally Awesome says hello. Stumpius says hi. Hobo Thulu says you lovely people have made this day so memorable. I'm glad we could be of service, even if it was slightly deranged towards the end of that session. We died of math. Also, I'm getting this out of the way
Ostron
before we
killed
record.
us. Math didn't kill us. Ostron killed us.
He didn't kill me.
Us
Nope, I still
being
blame the
me and
math.
Lennon. No, it was Ostron.
Math is dangerous.
Ostron didn't have to sick math upon us. He didn't have to, but he chose to. And murdered
Ostron.
us.
It's like his destiny to kill people with math.
If there's something you should learn, it's that you should never trust a cleric called Carl. TR Knight says, so wonderful to finally have faces to put with the voices I have come to enjoy and trust. Cheers.
I wanted to say something snarky, but I can't think of anything.
I'll be right back again. I'm gonna go get my mug so we can be mug twins.
We can be
Lennon.
mug
can
buddies.
Mug twin. We'll be mug buddies. Okay, I'll be right back.
I have
I
my
just emptied my
Figment mug.
goblet. I like your mug. Can't see it very well, but
He's my favorite Disney character, and he's like never in anything anymore. But
no, it's too shiny.
it's Figment the dragon. He's the Epcot mascot. That's the word I'm looking for. He's the Epcot mascot. And he's all about using your imagination.
Imagination.
Is Figment a real dragon? The chat wants to know.
And what pigment is this Figment?
Purple.
Does he appeal to any particular demographic segment?
Considering that he's been around for a lot longer than that has been more socially acceptable, probably now, but originally probably not.
I'm trying to think of another close rhyme and it's not coming up. I'm not coming up with
Tomasines
anything.
asks, didn't we answer that during one of the earlier painting sessions? We should have.
We may have a Brandwin.
We may have a Bronwyn. She is loading in. I can see
There
it.
we go.
Hey!
Yay!
Oh, I
That's
can't
okay.
hear you.
We can't
Can't
hear you
hear
very
her.
well.
Can you hear me?
Now we
Ish.
Barely.
Is that better?
Little
Can
laggy, but
Yeah, we're
sort of better.
getting a
Can you
bit of
move your
lag.
mic closer to your mouth?
Apparently, it's okay if your mic is seen.
Yeah, because mine's being seen.
I can't
It
tell if
apparently
she's
has to
frozen.
be close to me.
Tony, I have no idea what you're saying, but you are muted.
It's a radio show you guys are doing, right? So audio is important,
Yes.
is what I was saying into my muted mic.
Mhm.
That's what I was, yeah. It's just so I could, making the point how important sounds were.
Yeah, whilst on mute. Tomasines wants to know, Ryu, does your mic change colors?
When it is muted, it is dark, and when it is not muted, it is lit up red. So yes.
Fancy.
Mikey says Branwyn's video appears to be frozen. Yes, we're working on it. We're hoping she can.
Oop.
That might explain why.
Hmm. Yeah, that seemed like a lag out at the end.
Yeah.
You guys,
Hi.
my house smells like brownies that I don't have, and it's not because I'm having a
That's
stroke.
shame.
Yeah, stroke is toast.
Oh, is
brownie-
it toast? Is that burnt?
brownies
Oh,
are fine.
brownie was supernatural. Never mind.
Yeah, brownie is. What is that like? That's like
it like-
poltergeist children.
Something like that. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, poltergeist children.
Any supernatural nuts in Twitch can correct me.
Supernatural nuts. They go in the brownies.
Ew. No. No. Nuts should not be in brownies.
They absolutely should.
No.
Supernatural ones should
Yeah.
be.
they
Ghost nuts in brownies.
Fight.
The only nut-like things that should be in brownies are the ones that are ground up into the cocoa.
Those are called
Oh,
beans.
cocoa.
Yeah, cocoa
Yep.
beans.
Cocoa beans.
Yeah,
Not like,
This-
not nuts.
this I agree with.
Only thing worse is pineapple on a pizza. Mikey, if you weren't so crucial to the show, as a result, Gaff, you're fired. I'm sorry. Oh wait, Branwyn's back. Never mind.
Gath likes pineapple on pizza.
Oh, high five, Gaff! You're immediately rehired. That's
When I
But you
was
can
in
fire
your
me
neck
if
of the
you want.
woods, Lennon, I got corn. Sweet corn on a pizza.
yeah. Thank you.
No. No,
I
pineapple's
have
fine.
feelings about that.
So, okay, so I subscribe to a Korean snack box that I get every month, and almost every month there is some kind of sweet corn flavored snack, and sometimes it's like chocolate bars that are sweet corn flavored.
Why?
This is yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. This makes no sense to me at all.
And it really doesn't make sense to me either. I've gotten sweet corn potato chips, sweet corn.
Two
Prince.
seconds.
Hang on.
2 seconds. Brandon,
No.
can you hear us? Or
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
we
you.
can. You're a little bit delayed, but that's okay.
Oh,
We
We can't
okay.
see
Well,
you. Or at least
like
I can't.
said, with this, my CPU, my CPU is running like crazy right now, so it's trying to keep up.
oh, so
Do you
your
have-
actual machine's struggling.
Do you have anything else open besides this website?
Yeah,
and
Just
the
a little.
Just a little.
Site and the Heroes Class chat And then-
Okay.
Try closing out of Twitch.
Yeah, definitely close out of Twitch.
Not in Twitch.
Okay.
Oh. Maybe close Discord?
I
Yeah, you
got
should-
nothing open.
Well,
Okay,
as
we
long
can-
as we've got the
I don't
audio,
have
the
Discord
video
open.
should be recording.
Yeah, and actually, depending on your computer, that may be what's causing your problems. The website is recording video, even if it's not displaying it to us. So when you upload it, you'll upload video with it, even though we won't use it. It's the audio that's really important.
But you can hear us okay. We can hear you okay. I think. So I think the only other
Yes.
next step that you would need to do would be to open up the show docs. I will. So if you go into Google Drive and then into the show docs folder, let me know when you're there, and I'll tell you the numbers that you need to open. And if it gets too bad, through the magic of editing, we can still have you in the episode. We'll just get you to record your lines offline. So
Okay. Okay, so I'm in show docs.
all right. So you want to open number 1, which is the intro.
Okay.
And then you want 2A, which is Adventurers
okay.
Pack. And then,
Adventures pack.
yep, and then 3A, D&D News. And then 4A, Short Rest, which you should be familiar with. And then finally, number 5, Scrying Pool.
Okay. And short rest.
And then Scrying Pool. What might help you, Branwyn, is
Okay.
on the Riverside website. If you hover over the options at the bottom where it says cam, choose disable cam, and that will cut it off on your side. And it might free up some processing power.
Say that again.
I didn't catch it. I don't know if anybody else did.
Yeah, you Skyped out a little bit there. The camera appears to be frozen again.
And this is why we have audio alchemists for our show.
Who do all the work of making us sound like we don't have these massive gaps in our speech, etc. Yep.
I think we lost her again.
I think
Yeah.
we might have as well. If someone can entertain all the listeners, I guess I don't have to do the hello to all the listeners listening to us on patreon.com thing. I'm just going to drop her a private message just to...
As
too robotic.
Or only getting a couple of syllables at a time. So, make some good radio while Lennon
you
types
should be good at
things. I mean, if there's one thing I do a lot of, it's flap my gums to fill dead air. So that can be done.
Is
Yeah.
that what they call the court system nowadays?
No, you have to take turns. There's rules about that. I'm talking about over on that other show that I do. Yeah, I mean, I got if ain't nobody talking, then we call that bad radio. So we have to make good radio
We could just have
or
Ostron
some radio.
type.
What's that?
We could just have Ostron type. That'd be
I mean, that worked
Angry
for a while.
typing.
I have an audio file of it. It
Do
was a
you
gift.
really?
It was a gift.
We all do. It's in the drive.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Well,
It's in the
Ryu was
Why?
Because
Ryu
I
was the one who
requested it.
specifically requested it.
Is it like soothing now?
Well, it is to me. I don't know if it is for you.
So, Brick Wagoli, aka Mikey, in chat says, "This is the sausage being made, folks." And then Squirrel says, "Oh, Tony and Lennon, are you both using your PAX mugs?"
Cheers.
Mine's going see-through.
Yeah, so
Ryu.
Mhm.
Mikey calls it ASMR for you. The keyboard typing.
no.
For her, not for you.
There's a term of art. I mean, it's acquired a certain connotation for me over at the other show, because there's one of our cast members has an affection for the genre.
Wing
Yeah.
out.
ASMR can be anything for anybody. It doesn't always have to be like creepy whispering.
That's what it is to me, and so I automatically kind of like this whenever anyone puts those letters together in that sequence. It's a yeah.
No, I'm with you there. Traditional ASMR, I actually like. It makes me physically uncomfortable when I hear it.
Yeah. It's I mean,
I feel like that's the opposite of what ASMR is supposed to be.
It definitely is.
It's supposed to give you happy tinglies, not like blah.
okay.
And not those kind of tinglies either. Stop it.
I will take your words for it. I mean, there's a fine line between tinglies and creepy crawly.
Well, yeah, it's not supposed to give you the creepies. If it gives you the creepies, then you're not into it.
The Gibblies.
Yeah, those two.
Jurbly.
Autonomous sensory meridian response. It is a response in your body's nerves based on sound coming in your ears.
Yes.
It
Creepy
actually
sound.
stands
But
for...
it's a good feeling. If you're getting not good feelings, then and it's not for you.
Yeah. What letters is that? Is it a PQST?
I think it's just creepy feelings.
ABWX. I mean, what letters do I say
I
for
think
that?
ASMR stands for audio of someone mashing really loud keyboard. That's what.
Nice save. Good one.
Thanks. So yeah, it doesn't look like Bramwin's going to be able to join us, but we will splice her in. However, for the purposes of the live broadcast, that the listeners aren't hearing only half a speech, I'll take her lines so that you can all see where the flow. Do you want to do them?
No.
Exactly. This is
As long
suspiciously
as
like
you-
someone was volunteering, Rere.
As long as you change your
No.
voice when you're doing them.
I was more prodding you for the fact that you take double the work all the time.
Yeah. Do you want to take some of the work?
No.
Well,
There's
then.
plenty of people here to offer
Looks
it
like
too.
I'm doing it. Anyway, Rere's going to be reading. No, I'll take it. It's fine. So
I
yes,
will beat you up.
It wouldn't be completely out of place.
I mean, there will be a section though where you will be talking to you. No, it's okay. I'll take it. And if I do the voice, I would like to, but I wouldn't want to offend Branwyn. So that's probably not going to happen.
For the
Yes?
short rest, her lines come after Ryu's, so Ryu, you should probably just read hers.
Yep.
Okie doke.
All right. Okay. Well, if with that in mind, if everybody wants to open up the intro doc, and we will begin recording the show. The way that it works on Riverside is that there will be a countdown. You will see it on your screens. It'll go, I think, from 6 seconds down. Then, is everybody seeing the same camera order? Lennon, Indigo, Tony, Ryu.
No.
Nope. Okay. In that case, what we then are going to have to do afterwards is we will sync. So it'll be me, Ostron, Ryu in the normal order. We will then have Tony. You will be 4. Ray, you will be 5. Gaff,
Wait.
will.
Why don't we just do it in the order people are in the intro doc?
Yeah, we'll do it in that order then. Yep, that's a good. Good call.
I'm still 5.
Yep. So
Yay!
and Tony's last. So.
I guess I'll
And
say
As
Branwyn
it
is-
should be.
I'm
Branwyn is
Ryu
watching
and
us
I'm
in
not
chat.
Branwyn.
Yes.
Okay.
Bremen is watching us on Twitch, though, so sorry that we would love to have had you in here, but technology, yay.
We love you, Bronwyn.
Just a note for everyone also. When you are using your cursor in the Google Doc, your name flashes over for everybody else. So try not to put your cursor over where we're actively reading
Because I will yell at you.
and it will block the words for whoever's trying to read.
I've done it before.
Ostron with his cool logic says totally awesome in chat. All right. Well, yeah, with that, if everybody's good, Tony, if you want to hit the big red button.
All right, here we go. And we are going to do this for each individual segment, just to keep everybody aware of that. So, all right, here we go. Big red button is being hit. You'll see a variety of numbers. Eventually, they'll go to 0, and I'll point at you, and it's ready to start.
This is Lennon intro, sync 1.
This is Ostron, intro sync 2.
This is Ryu, intro sync 3. And not Brandon. Not Brandon.
This is Indigo Sync 4.
This is Ray intro sync 5.
This is Gaff Minvar, intro sync 6.
This is Tony, intro sync 7.
All right. And intro in 3, 2. Welcome, brave adventurers, to Heroes Rise. I'm Lennon, and joining us on our quest this evening are lots of the wisest adventurers in the land.
I'm Ostron.
I'm Ryu.
I'm Indigo Spectre.
I'm Ray.
I'm Gaff.
And I'm Tony.
And this is the 200th entry into our chronicle, recorded live at twitch.tv/heroesrisednd on Saturday, February 12th, and released Wednesday, February 16th, over at heroesrisepodcast.com.
So, Ostron, what's in store for our brave adventurers this week?
In this week's Adventurers Pack, Ryu shows us how she handles conflict in games. That can't be good.
Next, we check out some D&D.
Oh, I thought I was reading Branwyn.
Oh,
I
go
was
for it,
reading
go for it,
Branwyn.
do it.
Next, we check out some D&D news as we uncover some details from the Hasbro earnings call and a touch of NFT controversy.
A new line of minis from WizKids partnership with Death Saves.
And some more info on the Dark Souls RPG. This time, their take on armor, items, weapons, and how this ties into subclassing.
After that, we dig up some Unearthed Mundana and discuss unicorns before finally heading over to the Scrying Pool to see what you all have to say.
That takes care of all the introductions. So let's take a look at what's in our Adventurers Pack and walk over... Oh,
No.
nope.
Just the first half.
Nope, not that.
Beep, beep.
Although, thank you, because we almost made it through without a mistake, and that would have killed us.
No, we didn't. Lennon talked over
Lennon
me.
interrupted. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. This is just bonus mistake.
Do you want me to do it again?
Yes, please.
Probably ought to.
Okay. That takes care of all the introductions. So let's take a look at what's in our Adventurers Pack.
Perfect.
I will stop that segment.
Yep.
I have nothing to stop. This is weird.
I know. Yeah, people are used to that. It's going to be a little odd. Just everybody do me a favor. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a little uploading thing, and then at some point it will explode in a shower of confetti, which means that your files are successfully uploaded. So when everyone is done with that, they're kind of give me a thumbs up, and we'll know that we're good to go to the next segment. Indigo says no. Do you still see uploading up in the upper right-hand corner? Okay, all right. So
Yep, still
percentage
uploading.
you-
We're
okay.
90-something%. We're almost there.
okay.
I'm at
okay.
80-something%.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. We don't want to start the next segment until we all see
Yeah.
that thing. So
You'll know when I get confetti. I'll be
because he's
visual.
excited.
We know when you get confetti because Ostron will make us do math. Me and Tony die.
You guys really need to get over that.
Never.
It was
They
like
never will.
20
Are you kidding?
minutes
It's now a
ago.
thing.
It's
Yeah,
now a
I was
thing.
gonna say,
What
that's
thing?
not gonna die.
Yay! Confetti!
You may have
Confetti,
the
all right.
characters,
All right,
but the
that's.
event will
I
never
think we're just
die.
waiting for Indigo. Oh, Indigo's good
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
no, he
good.
gave us thumbs up. All right, we're good. So, yeah, we're ready to do next bit when you say so.
Sure. So, just for those who haven't joined us on this, basically, Ryu's going to talk for the first 10 minutes-ish. Feel free to...
So mute yourselves.
Yeah, so feel free to mute your mics whilst you do that, so it's uber clean audio. And then afterwards, she will sort of open the floor to us, and we can give our opinions. The link is in the document. Have a look at it while she's reading, and we'll take it from there. When you are ready, Tony.
All right, gonna hit that big red button. You'll see numbers count down, and then I'll point at you when it's time to go.
He pointed. Are we syncing?
Yeah,
Are we
I'm-
syncing?
I mean,
we
are
probably,
we syncing? I
we
mean-
probably should actually. Sorry about that. That's
Yeah,
my fault
okay.
entirely.
Yeah,
That's what we were all waiting for. So
It's a
This is-
well-oiled machine, this Heroes Rise podcast. 200
Oh, no.
episodes. We've worked out all the kinks. It's all
no.
good.
Hold on. No, there's a kink.
There's a kink? Oh, I thought we were working on that.
I accidentally hit my button that mutes me in Discord, and it like marked some of the audio, and now it's uploading.
No, it's always uploading.
yeah, I've got it.
It's
Yeah.
always
Oh,
uploading
yeah,
in
no,
the
it's
background.
always uploading.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yes, yeah.
I thought I
you're-
did
yeah.
something.
Okay.
No. It's
Sorry.
always, it's always uploading in the background, and then when you finally close the file, it finishes the
Eight
upload.
new things.
Do we need to start over?
Should we start this over?
We could start this over.
Let's
We could
start
start
this
this
over.
over.
Yeah.
That would be
And there'll
fine.
be
But we're gonna
no record of
preserve
it
this because
ever
it's just
happening.
loaded with bloopers. It's gonna be fantastic. This will be
Oh,
fertile
no.
ground for the blooper reel. All right, I'm stopping.
Yeah, and this would be a well-oiled machine if we weren't trying 5 new things.
With
This is
All
we're
at the same
prototyping.
time.
Rapid prototyping, Oscar.
Go.
Rapid prototyping.
Go
We just
big
got done
or
with-
go home.
Yeah. We just got done with random D&D. I've never done that before. It
Mhm.
worked great. All right, again,
also,
let's make sure
Gath, I
everybody gets
think
the
you
upload.
I think you massively underestimate my willingness to go home. In all honesty, so
Exactly.
Go
my
home.
point.
Okay.
all right.
All right. When we're all uploaded, give me a thumbs up.
When we've uploaded that
All right.
blooper full second.
Ray, how you doing?
There we
Yeah. All right. Upload. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. I'm gonna hit the red button again. This time I'm going to point, and then
And,
we'll do the
and
same.
Lennon's gonna look up so he can
Lennon-
see.
And Lennon's gonna give us start syncing up. All right, here we go. Big red button we can hit. Numbers are gonna be counting down, and
This is Lennon Adventurers Pack Sync 1.
This is Ostron Adventures Pack Sync 2.
This is Ryu Adventures Pack Sync 3.
This is Indigo Adventures Pack Sync 4.
This is Ray Adventurers Pack Sync 5.
This is Gath and Adventurers Pack Sync 6.
this is Tony Adventures Pack Sync 7.
And Adventurers Pack in 3, 2.
So sometimes when doing something like a random D&D game like we just finished a few minutes ago, or even as a GM or as a player, you need to be able to come up with descriptions on the fly. And if you aren't quite as eloquent as Ostron or really good at BSing like Tony, you might need a little help painting that mental picture that you want to convey. So one tool that I found to help you get your words together is Conflict Games Description Card Series. These are various card decks that are characterized as descriptor cards for writers, storytellers, and GMs. And I really, really like these. How many times have you described your fireballs as a burst of flame exploding from your outstretched palm? Or if you fail at a firebolt, it either just misses or fizzles out before even leaving your fingers. How about instead, and I've got my magic description card here, your attack manifests as a flaming skull that speeds towards your foe, leaving a trail of smoke and ash. Or if you fail that fire spell, a burst of flames and smoke shoots out from your rear end with enough force to lift you off your feet for a full second, leaving your pride as the second thing that is hurting. So these cards are full of fun descriptions like this. There are sets for magical effects, like the ones I just read, monster cards that describe things such as physical traits and attack type varieties, combat cards that help you illustrate attack movements for various physical damage type attacks, and storytelling cards that give you quick hints or environment variables like smell and sound, or character traits or facial expressions. Now, I personally think that the magic and combat cards are the best ones. Even just a few more elucidating phrases can really make combat more interesting all around. And this is huge for me because, as I think I've mentioned once or twice, I really try hard to make combat more fun for everybody. And I need all the help I can get at the table to not repeat myself too much when narrating things like sword swings. So these description cards come in the physical type, which are nice, heavy, glossy cardstock like I have, or in PDF form, which is obviously much cheaper. Now, but these are not designed to tell your story for you, and they're not mechanical in any way. They are really just there for little mind worms to help you get more of a jump start on describing your own actions or attacks or the world you've created. So if you're expecting to get a cohesive story going by pulling these cards out, you might be a little bit disappointed. Also, these are really not shuffleable. So each deck is split up into different types of descriptions. So like the magic effects deck is split up into element type or the range of the spell. Combat cards are split up into slashing, piercing, and blunt. If you have a particular attack in mind that you want to describe, shuffling the deck could actually be detrimental to you. So there is that to keep in mind. But if you need a nudge in the right direction, these cards are a big help in getting your creative blood flowing. So, what do you guys think?
Sure beats a thesaurus.
Right?
Although that said, I am impressed because these descriptions are both very eloquent and have a pretty varying vocabulary. Like, they don't sound repetitive. I'm sure if you look through all of the cards, some of the descriptions will start to resemble each other, but a lot of them are very, very nicely crafted pieces of language.
It looks like there's a place on the website where you can submit your own, so I imagine there's a lot of crowdsourcing going on to get the different language available as well.
Taking a look at the website, I saw that they had a 4-panel kind of DM screen, and on that DM screen, it has blunt, slash, pierce, pain, and something I can't quite make out, but it looks like it's descriptions for different type of physical attacks. And I think that's really cool because it gives you an opportunity while you're DMing to just go, oh yeah, you, and then you find exactly what the description is, and you get a really nice, quick description out.
Are you trying to say that the fact that I describe everything as cleft in twain might be a little repetitive after a while?
That's a classic. Don't you ever change it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So the pain cards are actually part of the storytelling deck, and they describe things like what you experience when you get attacked. So like if you get a sharp pain, your thoughts and resolve are tested by a surge of pain sharper than you've ever felt. Stuff like that.
It hurt more than the last one that hit you. Oh, wow, it hurt.
The damage is satisfying.
Well, they should have a code word deck. We should submit a code word deck to them. It'll have cleft in twain, satisfying damage.
Mm-hmm.
We need to come up with code words for when you looked for traps but rolled very poorly and didn't find them.
When you walk into a room with 6 illithids and you've only got one person as backup, you know.
Hey, that was just 2 bad rolls in a row. I mean, that fight could have really gone my way.
Sure.
No, I don't think it could have.
2 bad rolls in a row. That was just, it was unfortunate.
But at least with these, you could describe it really, really well.
That's right. Yeah, the brain getting sucked out of the back of my character's neck could have been a lot more, really disgusting, Lennon. You could have done better.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
We could have described his reincarnation better.
I suck. I get it. That's fine. The thing that
No.
about...
You could be better with these cards.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
I could suck less. So the one thing that I do like about these is that from what I'm seeing of the examples, they don't appear to be system dependent either. So if you wanted to use these in, say, a Pathfinder game or a 5th edition game, they're just descriptive.
Right. They're, like I said at the very beginning, they're made for also storytellers and writers as well. So if you want to write your own story, you can use these for any descriptions that you might need.
I think it's worth pointing out too, these would work for the players. They're not only for the DMs. Because for example, the magic and combat effects in particular, like Ryu said, there's no mechanics or anything. This is literally all flavor. And since they are thematic, if you are a spellcaster, for example, that focuses on a particular type of spell, you can use a lot of the descriptions in these cards.
They also
Sorry,
sell
it sounded
battle
like I had
mats.
something else to say there.
Yeah, I think everybody thought that.
I was waiting. I was
I
like,
briefly
else?
thought that, but it didn't happen.
I was thinking that, kind of bouncing off of what Ostron said, this is like a perfect thing for people like me who are not storytellers and writers, who are like, but words, I lost them all. It's great. I love it.
Well, you are.
I need them. Give me all of them.
I know that you said that you were planning on trying to DM soon, which is something you've never done. Is this something that would actually be interested to you? Like, would you have these at your table?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the module I was thinking of, well, the module I'm still planning to DM has a really good description already in it, but I see no reason to not have an extra resource for, things like in combat, to make it more interesting than, whacked his head off or whatever,
Cleft in twain. Left in twain.
No, it doesn't
never gets
work
old.
really
Never
for
gets
me. I feel like you
Well-
have to have a British accent to make that work.
Well, and Audio Alchemist can cut this out for all of us who are in this little chat room. I totally forgot to tell you guys that I put these up in PDF form in the assets folder, so they're there if you'd like to view them.
So we could have actually looked at this resource before.
You could
this.
have, and I totally forgot to tell you about it. Sorry.
And
I will
we're
look
not
later.
broadcasting this. We're not. We don't
It's
have
just us here. It's
hundreds of
just
listeners
us.
right now. It's just us. Just us.
Never leaves this room.
20s of listeners.
All right,
Well, they'll still have to buy them if they want them, but
that is good. Does anybody have anything else that they want to mention on this? If not, then I think it's Rhea to do the sweep out.
okay. Links to Conflict Games description card series can be found in our show notes, but is there something that's an absolute must-have at your tables? Found a cool app, book, or other item you'd like to share with other adventurers and dungeon masters? If so, let us know about it on social media at Heroes Rise D&D or by emailing sendingstone at heroesrisepodcast.com. But for now, let's check out some D&D news.
All right, stop it there. Thank you, Tony the Big. So I feel I should say I got distracted when you started because I was looking around the website and I found under our apps they've got a thing called the Slapbot Funny Keyboard, and it has a "This is what I appreciate about you" generator, right, Tom?
What?
So
What?
Yes,
I was,
I
yeah.
appreciate about you.
Is that why you
Ready to
appreciate
thumbs up
about
when you're
me?
on the
Yeah.
uploaded.
I need to see this now. What? Oh my gosh, it's a thing.
It also looked like they had API tie-in for all of those app developers out there.
Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
big thumbs up here. I'm uploaded.
Oh, excuse me, I'm tired.
Hopefully not too tired.
I know, I still have a lot more to do. I'll
Mine
be
is
okay.
taking quite a
I
while
feel
to
like
I'm-
upload silence.
You've got 4 hours of video game to play.
I know.
Wait, the thumbs up from Gath, Ray,
I'll be fine though. I'm really excited about that.
I feel like I'm playing that thumbs up game in school where I'm waiting
Oh,
for
yeah.
somebody to put it down
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
thumbs up, 7-Up.
Yeah.
Thumb more.
It's the
I
one
hated
group
that game.
game I
Hated
didn't
that
suck
game.
at.
Ray, are you uploaded?
Nope.
Yeah, because if you were able to get your eyes like off the edge of the table, you could see the shoes of whoever it was who was putting your thumbs down. Yeah.
Nope.
I think the
No, I
word
just
that
listened to
cheating.
the sound of people walking.
I think you meant
and
to
I
say
could tell
cheating.
who it was.
Tactics.
Wow, this is taking forever.
Who,
Why is it taking forever?
okay, so if we're going to take bets between Indigo and Ray as to who's going to get their segment uploaded the quickest,
Probably Indigo.
probably yeah.
Yeah.
It's been me by about
Like a
20
hair.
seconds each time. So, yeah.
What
I'm at
percentage are you guys
90%
up?
right
Which
now.
means that for D&D news, we're going to be sitting here for like 10
There's
minutes.
going to be a pause.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll be the ideal time to go recheck the water bottles, etc.
That just means that it's going to be a bigger file. That's all I meant by that.
Yes.
That's yeah. We over at the other show we break that up sometimes, so it might be. I'll leave it to the director to make that call if we want to break.
Let me have
up
a look at the news doc. Let me see what we got.
I think we've done that a couple times when you've had to break.
We don't have
news
too many
into-
segments. It depends on how much Tony wants to wax legal about NFTs.
We also don't go on tangents as much as you folks do over there.
We will tonight.
no.
I can guarantee it.
And I know this for a fact.
Well, Indigo won. Whoever had money on Indigo, congratulations.
Hey,
let's go in.
Is Gath reading all of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot to read. Okay.
What
He's
is he
saying
reading?
he can't.
I was up until 1 o'clock last night working with Lennon to make it a
Palatable.
palatable mess.
That's one way to put
Less
it.
British?
To be fair, it was not
Wait,
the
we
most
want
British.
less British?
I've given Ostrom my most British stuff, and unfortunately he handled it well. So,
Aw.
how's your upload
An
looking?
entire adolescence of reading
done?
Orson Scott Card and Terry Pratchett helped out there.
Indigo, did I win?
Yeah,
No.
you won.
Not,
Indigo
was a
beat
while
you by
ago.
like 3 minutes.
Dang it. Ah.
So I think that was my last thumbs up I needed to collect.
Mhm.
So
I think so.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm taking forever. It's not my
That's okay.
fault.
That's okay. And it's a thing that happens. It's all right. So
Yep.
do you want to try to set up a break in this?
we'll run through it. I'll
news?
keep an eye on the time separately, and
Okay.
if I want to after a news item, I'll and we can
Just
take part
for a rule of thumb purposes, that was a 10-minute and 46 long
Sure.
segment. So
Yep.
just for
No worries.
for
Good.
I
to
just
know.
let out a blood-curdling scream when we need to stop.
Yeah.
I tune
I
that
would
out.
like to see that or hear that,
I
actually.
don't hear that, Ostron. I mean, I know you're immune to blood-curdling screams because you murder characters for fun in random games. I mean, I know that doesn't have an effect on you. so.
No, I murder characters for fun in all games. I just don't brag about it the way Ryu does.
Why not? It's an accomplishment.
All right.
All right.
Let's have a couple of seconds silence as Tony does the thing.
Numbers are coming. I will point in just a second when it's ready to go.
This is Lennon D&D News Sync 1.
This is Ostron, D&D News Sync 2.
This is Ryu, D&D News, Sync 3.
This is Indigo, D&D News, Sync 4.
This is Ray Ray, D&D News, Sync 5.
This is Gath, D&D News, Sync 6.
And this is Tony, D&D News Sync 7.
And D&D News in 3, 2.
Brave adventurers, the fiscal year has come to a close, and the obligations of the Securities Act of 1933 and 1944 required that... Come on, seriously? You give this stuff to the lawyer to read? Okay, all right, yeah, fine. I see how this goes. Fine, here we go. Brave adventurers, do try to contain your excitement as we announce that Hasbro's quarterly earnings call has landed for Q4 2021. The presentation is 37 slides full of bright colors, fancy bar charts, and is just chocked full of terms like reconciliation of non-GAAP financial measures. In short, My Little Pony is way up, the execs' mini golf scores are way down, and Wizards of the Coast is still proving to be the best purchase Hasbro has ever made. At the tail end of 2021, Wizards passed $1 billion in total sales, making Wizards the first and only billion-dollar tabletop publisher, with the Tabletops Games division accounting for $952 million in sales alone. It should come as no surprise that Magic the Gathering still seems to be Wizards' financial golden child, but D&D is coming hot on its heels. Naturally, a lot of people have been left wondering, what's next for Wizards of the Coast?
A lot of online discussion is centered around whether Wizards will be joining the world of NFTs. The late CEO of Hasbro, Brian Goldner, actually said in a press briefing back last year that they, quote, have their arms around this and see multiple opportunities that you'll hear more about as we move forward, end quote. However, that was back in April of 2021, and 8 months is a long time on the internet. At that time, NFTs were the new hotness that every company was jumping on before a lot of details of exactly what NFTs are were widely known.
All right, sidebar here. NFTs, cryptocurrency, and pretty much anything dealing with blockchain is going to be a huge, complex topic, but we do want to skim the surface, at least very briefly. For anyone unaware, NFT stands for non-fungible token, which is really just a fancy way of saying unique receipt. Fungible deals with the ability to exchange two items of equal value. For example, say we have two baseballs, and these two baseballs are interchangeable, but a baseball thrown for the opening pitch at the World Series makes it unique. While it's functionally still a baseball and can be used like any other baseball, it was the baseball that started that particular game. The baseball is the token, and the fact that it opened the World Series makes it non-fungible. So now that we understand what it means for something to be non-fungible, we now must understand the market piece, which can get a little confusing, so bear with me here. NFTs have a value because people say they have a value. Using the above baseball as an example, the World Series baseball is literally indistinguishable from any other baseball, but the significance is what made it unique. Moving into the digital space, let's say you have a picture of the moon landing. Yeah, that picture is everywhere. You don't own the rights to it. But the NFT makers have used the picture to represent your token, even though they may not have the rights to it themselves, so suddenly it could become a whole lot more valuable. The problem, though, is to generate that NFT, it requires a significant amount of computational power. There is some extremely complex math required, so it effectively takes multiple supercomputers to calculate one. This leads to a dramatically increased electrical demand, raising prices, generating more CO2 commissions, and
Still,
on top
whoa. Emissions, not commissions.
Did I say commissions?
You said
Oh,
commissions.
yes.
If you can go back to...
I'll just start that whole sentence over, that's fine.
Perfect.
There's some extremely complex math required, so it effectively takes multiple supercomputers to calculate one. This leads to a dramatically increased electrical demand, raising prices, and generating more CO2 emissions. On top of this, it's completely unregulated, allowing for money laundering. In fact, art is often stolen and turned into NFTs without the copyright holder's permission. Best of all, you don't even actually own the rights to the digital item. The moon landing picture is not your original picture. There are only two things that make NFTs valuable: what was invested into it, and what people are willing to pay for it, often leading to only the people who offer the NFTs in the first place massively profiting. If Google decides to shut down Google Drive one day, and that's where the JPEG associated with your NFT is, that's it. It's gone.
So an NFT project, once again, you've got the lawyer reading this boring part. Okay, I get it. An NFT project by the name of Magic DAO appeared and was, in essence, selling NFTs based on Magic the Gathering cards. It was trying to use digital receipts as a way of proving you actually did own the cards you said your digital deck was to be made out of, and then was planning on launching in their own format. I'm going to read that again because I think I need a comma or something in here. Trying to use digital receipts on the cards. Did on the cards.
This is British.
Yeah, it's very British. It's very long. I'm going to delete that.
I mean, he did at least give you a semicolon.
There is a semicolon in there that I really want to turn into a
semicolon
full stop.
is Latin for half ass.
Yeah. Sorry, editing sounds. Okay, here we go. It's not as good as Rostron's keyboard. Okay.
Yep. And what's important here is Magic DAO, Magic DAO. They are a completely unrelated entity who were planning on trying to launch a Magic the Gathering format. It's not connected to Wizards. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. Do I need to ad lib something in there that says
nope,
that?
No. I'm just. You were editing. I just wanted to make sure you kept the essence.
Yeah. I'm just gonna start over. It'll be easier. It'll be easier to edit. Beep, beep. Anyway, an NFT project, and once again, I get into the boring part. I see how this goes. So, an NFT project by the name of Magic DAO or Magic DAO, as some people call it, appeared, and it was basically selling NFTs based on Magic the Gathering cards. It was trying to use their own digital receipts as a way of proving that you actually own the cards you said were in your deck, and was planning on launching their own format. Wizards quickly found out about the project and sent them a cease and desist. It's relatively standard stuff. Basically, the guy said actually it was a woman, a lawyer for representing Wizards of the Coast, wrote to these guys on an email or a Twitter DM, I think, maybe, and just said, "We don't own, or you don't own that. We do. Please stop." It was one of the nicest cease and desist letters I've ever seen. It was really very quite sweet. It was really very sweet. But it did have one little line in there that caught the attention of those of us who are D&D fans, and not merely lawyers who are tasked with reading the boring stuff. While Wizards is currently evaluating its future plans regarding NFTs and the Magic the Gathering cards, no decision has been made at this time. Use of NFTs in connection with Wizards' intellectual property is therefore strictly prohibited. This then led to a wave of speculation on the internet that Wizards of the Coast were going to be making an announcement about their own NFT projects, leading several prominent D&D celebrities to let them know exactly what they thought of this proposal. In a now deleted tweet, James
As we say every week, if he wants to come on the show and tell us how it's pronounced, he is more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, and he hasn't yet taken us up on the offer, so...
Well, that's on him then, quite frankly. In a now deleted tweet, James Heck posted the frustrated Miyazaki meme with the solitary line, "Please don't do D&D NFTs." The post was alive for less than an hour and had already racked up over 1,300 likes with a mere 13 comments. It seems the community's thoughts on D&D and NFTs are now well known.
I believe when this story broke, the first thing that I text Ostron was, if Wizards do D&D, I am quitting the podcast. Sorry, if Wizards do D&D, I'm quitting the podcast. Turns out they do. Bye.
Bye, Lennon. Well, it was nice working with you.
I hate to tell you this, but...
Yeah. Oh, they're the D&D guy. Right. No, if Wizards are doing D&D NFTs, I'm quitting the podcast. I think it would be an absolute terrible decision. And apparently James Hayek also thinks the same as well. I realize this is just going to open up a whole can of worms. Do you guys have any feelings on D&D and NFTs?
No.
No feelings, or no, they shouldn't do it?
No.
No, they should not do it.
I mean, I think aside from the controversy and the electricity and the general scumminess you feel about them that all right-thinking people do, the practical rub of the situation here is that for people that actually own intellectual property, there is a vast infrastructure of legal and computational and algorithmical protections that have been built up over the last 20 years of interneting that we're all familiar with. So if you own the intellectual property, you're in pretty good shape and you can control it and profit off of it and all that other stuff. It's people who are looking to piggyback or, appropriate other people's intellectual property that think this is a swell idea.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no reason for companies that already own and trade in that space to branch out into this. They can just set you up with your own account that's password protected and give you their own, encrypted drive space on a server that they rent from Amazon if they want to give you a non-fungible token of some kind. So,
people pointed out that Wizards of the Coast already does. I mean, there's D&D Beyond, where everybody has digital copies of the books that they sell physically. And there's Magic the Gathering Arena, where you don't have to, but you can pay money to acquire virtual copies of the physical cards that they also sell as part of their sets. So, Wizards has no practical need to use NFTs or do NFTs. That said, I think part of the problem is that right now, NFTs seem to be the latest business fad, where a lot of executives at various companies who may or may not have anything to do with technology have been hearing about these NFTs. They hear that they're profitable or hot or popular, and so they start trying to get their subordinates to do something about it, or worse yet, they make an announcement that they're going to do something about it before actually having one clue what they're talking about, and then it just all goes downhill from there.
As long as we're in the cloud, it's fine. Just get us in the cloud. Are we in the cloud?
Right, exactly. Same
cloud
sort of
yet?
thing.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be on the cloud. 90% of the people had no idea what it was.
Somebody else's
Someone
computer.
else's computer.
Yes!
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that most people still don't know what the cloud is, but yeah, it's somebody else's computer.
Yeah, I have that t-shirt too. It's...
And as I... Okay, to be perfectly honest, I kind of tuned him out, so I don't know if he actually made this point, but while Tony was reading the quote, the whole thing they said in their announcement or in their cease and desist notice was, we don't know if we're going to use it, we just know that you can't. That
was the block
mean...
quote I read. It's right there in big
Yeah.
letters, man. I've missed you on my show, Ostron. I've missed you on your
which the whole point of that is it's like somebody else's car. It's like, okay, even though I'm not driving my Lamborghini, you still can't use it. They may never take that Lamborghini out of the garage. It may not even be parked in a garage. It might be in a display outcropping of their house over a tree with large glass windows. But that still means they don't want other people using it, even if they're never going to.
And the whole point of intellectual property is that's the value of it, right? It's your ability to have exclusive use and to restrict its use in the marketplace. That's a big part of what intellectual property has as its value. So, yeah, this was, and I've read through the Twitter feed of this company. I think at the time I looked at it, it was 106 tweets total. And my favorite one was is like, yeah, I'm not really, we got the cease and desist letter. I'm not sure about our legal position or what a court or judge would do about this. What do you guys on the internet think? And I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child. This was, yeah.
Taking legal advice from the internet, I'm sure that's very sound, solid strategy right there.
Yeah,
Right.
Tony posted that up. I believe the exact wording was, I'm not sure what a court would respond to this. And my immediate thought was, I have a guess or two.
I have always been amazed how little people understand intellectual property. I used to work in print, and the amount of times people wanted to print something that wasn't theirs was astounding. And it's like, well, can't I? No. You can't just print something that's not yours. It wasn't yours to begin with. You can't pay me to print something for you that you don't own.
Does anybody have anything else that they want to mention on that? If not, Branwyn, Ryu.
Or
you can
not
take us on.
Branwyn, as the case may be.
Before you start, do you want to segment this?
Now we'll
Just ask.
keep going. We'll try. We'll get through
Yeah,
the WizKids
okay.
one, and then we might take a break.
Okay.
WizKids, in a continuation of their partnership with Joe Manganiello's Death Saves brand, are releasing 2 collections of pre-painted minis. Each box will retail for $62.99 US, will release in Q2 of 2022, and are based on characters from Joe's celebrity-studded home game, War of Dragons. As far as we can tell, these home games aren't broadcast online for people to watch, though Variety magazine were invited into the Gary Gygax Memorial Dungeon to witness the game for themselves, and we'll have a link for the article in our show notes.
To quote WizKids, in the latest collaboration between Death Saves and WizKids, Joe Manganiello leads a star-studded cast of adventurers through his world of intrigue and danger. Death Saves, War of the Dragons box sets 1 and 2 bring the adventurers straight from Joe's game to your collection. The first set contains Maeglin, Poe, Kamathi, Stormhollow, Brago, Neruk the Unkillable, Fan Nilo, Lap, and Christopher Squawkin. The second set contains Marit. Really? The second set contains Marit Oxizer. Anybody? Really?
No, just
You're not going to help me?
Trust me, just keep going.
Okay. The second set contains Marit Oxizer, Calatur, Minmax, Oriax.
That's hold on. Calator Min-Max.
Oh, I see. Okay. Again. The second set contains Marit Oxizer, Calator Minmax, Oriax, Kaysen, A Flying Carpet, Jericho Blackwing, Hugo Ledbetter, Ulak Jotun. Don't worry, aside from the flying carpet, most of us don't know who these characters are either.
So
Definitely don't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never heard of these people. I don't even know how to pronounce the names. Good job there, Ray Ray. on making
You
me
guys
do that.
don't know Christopher Squawkin. He's famous the world over for his dungeoning and his dragoning.
I think you got the wrong Christopher there.
I think Tony's just not that good at impressions. Is what it is. I think you got the right Christopher. Just
You guys knew what I was doing, so
He
it's
knew
good
exactly
enough.
what he was doing.
It's good
It wasn't bad.
It didn't have to be
I've
great.
heard
It was
worse.
good enough.
yeah. So also just in case anybody wasn't familiar, because we certainly weren't before we read this, the Gary Gygax Memorial Dungeon is what Joe Manganiello calls his basement, which is where he holds.
I
all
was
the
going to
games.
say, isn't
Yeah.
that just his basement?
It is.
Have you not
just
seen the
his
Stephen
basement.
Colbert bit? You guys see the interview he did with
A
Stephen Colbert?
long time
That's an
ago.
impressive basement.
Mhm.
That
I've
basement-
heard of it and I've seen stills, but I haven't watched the thing.
It's an impressive basement.
Yeah,
Also, I might get a cat in just a second, and I apologize.
Never apologize for cats on the internet. That's you just don't.
The internet was built for cats. I
Yeah.
don't know if you-
So
Well,
let's-
that's true.
So let's talk about the actual minis. Unlike other WizKids minis, these come pre-painted, which is pretty cool. So even if you did follow along the painting segment earlier, you don't have to with these, unless you're weird and want to paint over them again. I think they look pretty cool. My only sort of... Yeah, go ahead.
sort of piggybacking on what you and Bloodlake discussed in your painting seminar.
Seminar.
A lot of minis don't hold up well to photography. I don't know if the issue here is the minis or the photographer, but the pictures that I'm looking at do not do these minis justice. Because, like,
I agree.
WizKids minis are usually very high quality, even the, like, pre-made, pre-painted ones. But based on the pictures they have on these website, I would not... Like, the pictures are not instilling confidence in me. Like, some of these minis look... Just based on the pictures, they look undetailed and cheap. And I'm pretty sure they're not, but these pictures are not doing them any favors.
I'm looking at that article, and it looks fuzzy. It looks like the camera is not focused correctly. It's very difficult to see any detail. Now, I'm not sure if that's an intentional thing, intentionally blurring it so that way it's actually higher quality when you get it in person. But I see what you're talking about there. It feels like a lot of detail is missing, or it may be like a first iteration batch or something like that.
So what I'm going to do, and this bit will get cut, in the episode 200 channel on Discord, I'm going to throw a link to what I think is probably one of the better resolution photos. So you guys click open original and you should see, but even then. So just going to do something to cut back in here. Yeah, and the price of $62 a box, I mean, I guess you're getting what, sort of like 7-8 minis in a thing for pre-painted. Like, I don't know, it seems a little on the high end to me.
Yeah, it would again depend on the details of the minis, or like how detailed they are. But I don't know. Like I said, even we found a slightly higher resolution photo, but even with that, like, I don't know, they just look cheap.
Death Saves is a charity, so they may be making sure that they have enough profit on them to make the donation to charity worthwhile. Have enough profit on them to make the donation to charity worthwhile. So that could be where the price point is set, so that they took the cost and then added enough so that it felt like they were doing something with that.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point you raised there. That could well be what it is.
I'm still just having a hard time from these because unless you're in Joe's campaign, you probably don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm having a hard time seeing where the appeal is. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. I mean, I do like that armored polar bear. That's pretty cool.
I mean, the armored polar bear is pretty cool. I do wonder if they are going to broadcast this as a series, though. I wonder if it's just that they haven't got that far yet. But WizKids is kind of getting ahead of the curve. That's about the only thing that I could really think of. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, other than Christopher Squawkin, which has a fantastic name, there's nothing about the mini that really tells you much about the character. So unless you want another Birdman type thing...
Well, I was going to say a lot of them would work as sort of generic characters of given races or classes. Like, there's a couple that would just make good generic wizards. There's a nice figure that would work as a rogue or a ranger. And I mean, the flying carpet is, or at least it looks level enough that you'd actually be able to put other minis on top of it and they would stay as long as you don't try to move it aggressively across a tabletop. So they could be angling for just the generic appeal of the minis as character models.
All right, does anybody else have anything else that they want to mention on that topic? All right, we'll cut it there in half, and we'll export a second because we're coming up to 24 minutes there. So if you could stop that, Tony, and then...
I mean,
Yep.
okay. I was just going to say, are we going to spend that long on the next part? But I think he already stopped it, so meh.
The thing is, it's
there's
better
not
to have
that
it...
much left.
Yeah, it's better to have it in two segments that we end up having, like, one long, one short. It's worse if we have one uber long segment, so...
Also, thank you for not having me read anything about Dark Souls, because it's like...
Yeah, I figured as much. Alright, so Indigo versus Ray Ray, thumbs up war.
I've streamed it for you. You can watch me play it sometime. Then you might
Nope,
know.
I'm good. I've watched him play it a bunch of times too, and not my cup of tea.
Could be a cup of souls.
Oh.
You don't enjoy watching me die a lot?
No! What would even make you think that?
That's Ostron's thing.
Yes.
Ostron doesn't watch me play either, so.
Getting a cramp in my knee. And actually, you may have streamed it. I have not watched. So.
Rude.
Sorry.
You were in the server the other day with me when she was streaming it and I was watching, so you had no excuse.
I was playing my own thing, and I
You
only
were.
have one monitor.
Yeah, that's true. I've got three. I've got one up here, one over here, and then one down
Yeah,
here.
we saw
if
your
I
picture
sort of-
earlier. That would make my brain go crazy.
Yeah, I actually removed. I had a fourth one on the side that matched, but I
You're approaching
Enough is
spaceship
enough.
levels of monitors.
I actually had to make room for my mixing desk, which is why I had to remove it. So, you know,
If you get 6, we'll start calling it the command center.
I
That's
still
true.
remember I was laughing 2 or 3 years ago. My brother bought a new computer that had an upgraded graphics card in it, or a modern graphics card in it, I guess I should say. And he hadn't owned a computer with a post 2015 graphics card in it up to that point. And you know how the graphics cards, when you get them, they have the little plastic tabs in them to block off the HDMI or display ports?
Oh no.
So he couldn't figure out when he got the computer where he was supposed to plug in the HDMI port, because the only thing he could find was the old VGA port that was built into the motherboard. And so I told him, okay, look for the little plastic tab. He's like, okay, I found it. I was like, okay, pull that one out. And he plugged it in, and he's like, oh, okay, that plugs in, that works. And I said, okay, now here's the best part. Look at the rest of the back. And he texted me back like 5 minutes later in all caps, who needs 5 HDMI ports? And that's when I started sending him pictures of people's computer setups.
Yeah.
And he was like, those people are nuts.
That is true. Yep.
I mean,
how many
I'll own it.
how many monitors do you have, Tony?
3 monitors, and I've got my VR goggles plugged into the 4th.
Oh yeah, I've got a VR as well, so I don't know if that's
There's 2 monitors in that, so that's 5.
Technically, yes. Yeah,
strictly
one there
speaking,
and
that's
one
5
there.
monitors. Yep.
I've got the 2 monitors, the 62-inch TV, and the VR goggles.
Oh, you're getting there. You're getting there. Speaking of VR goggles, not even remotely related, how are you guys doing on the upload?
90%.
Little ahead of that, but still not there yet.
It's a race.
It took like most of your discussion to get from 80 to 83%.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
Hopefully we'll have the confetti soon. I always wondered what that was whenever I was watching Guard Frequency being streamed, because every now and then at the corner of the screen you just see confetti.
Oh,
And so
yeah,
it's
'cause
like-
I mirror the screen. Yeah, I put
Yes.
the screen on the feed. Yeah, yeah.
which is actually what we're doing here. This
Right.
recording window. This is exactly what we see. That I'm just rebroadcasting it to Twitch. So
This is only tangentially related to what we're about to talk about, but does anyone know if there is a name for the art style that Dark Souls uses?
like,
The
do you
art
mean
style?
like Gothic? Is that the sort of thing that you're after, or?
Well, yeah, it just seems like Gothic is too broad, because Dark Souls very specifically, particularly in their boss monsters, seems to aim for this, like, demonic circus carnival feel.
So
And
Yeah.
I don't know if that has a name or if
My-
it's just a thing.
My understanding is that Miyazaki is extremely heavily influenced by Berserk, to the point where several characters and creatures are almost straight rips out of it. I don't know anything about Berserk, but from what people on the internet, so we know a very highly reputable source.
Griffith has the egg of the king.
What?
Griffith has the egg of the king.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I'm with you, man. I have no.
I
clue
don't
what
I
that
don't know
means.
what it means.
Purple
but,
monkey dishwasher, dude. That's what
Looks like
right,
Indigo
man.
wins.
Indigo wins.
But
wins.
that's where they draw most of their visual inspiration from, and I think they're just taking it from whatever art style that's in and saying, let's mix it with a little bit more of this style and going from there.
In
Also,
the chat,
Lennon-
apparently Dark Souls 3 is neo-romantic. It's a game that acts as homage to ideals and theories behind romanticism and the respective artists from the 1800s. It draws from the many facets of romanticism and its artists, and uses its core aesthetic to enrich its own profundity. July the 11th, 2018. Somebody cited that, and I read everything.
Profundity.
Yes.
He has to roll
Okay.
a dice to see if he pronounces that right.
Palatable.
It's just got a big middle
a kill
finger
you.
on it, Tony. I don't know what that means.
No, Ray, you're supposed to use your thumbs, not your fingers. Okay, fine. Everything's
that
just
means
going to
she's
use
uploaded.
different fingers in a minute.
Yeah, probably. All right. So
All
if
right.
we're all uploaded, I guess we're gonna start up
Yep.
another
Gonna
segment. Here.
start up a segment 2. So hit the Thanks, Tony.
All right, so numbers are gonna come, and then I'll point at Lennon to start the sync here.
This is Lennon D&D News Part 2, Sync 1.
This is Ostron D&D News Part 2, Sync 2.
This is Ryu, D&D News Part 2, Sync 3.
This is Indigo D&D News Part 2, Sync 4.
This is Ray, D&D News Part 2, Sync 5.
This is Gath D&D News Part 2, Sync 6.
And
This is Tony D&D News Part 2, Destruct Sequence 3, Code 3, Code B. Go.
And that in 3, 2.
And finally, in our news roundup, a few more details on the Dark Souls RPG. Last week we covered the changes to magic, the death mechanics, the new combined hit points and stamina mechanic called position, as well as a rundown of the 10 base classes coming with the game. Notably, subclasses were something that was missing from the list, and this week we get to learn a little more about Dark Souls' take on this staple mechanic.
Rather than subclasses, which Steamforged gave...
It's Steam Forged.
Touché. Rather than the subclasses, which Steamforged said didn't feel Dark Soulsian enough, they instead opted to have character customization done through your choice of equipment. Unlike standard D&D, in the Dark Souls game, every suit of armor, sword, halberd, club, claws, and whips can be used by any character of any class. Yep, they have stripped out proficiencies entirely. As long as you meet the prerequisites, such as needing a minimum strength value, you can wield the item. So, in the words of the preview, want to be a pyromancer in dungeon scale armor. Blah.
Nope.
So, in the words of the preview, want to be a pyromancer in dungeon scale armor, wielding a katana?
No.
Did it
Said it
again!
again.
Did it again!
Dungeon
He
scale.
wants some dungeon scale armor. He wants to scrape the scales off the side of the dungeon and armor up.
Beep. Beep. Thank you, Ray Ray. So, in the words of the preview, want to be a pyromancer in dragon scale armor? I emphasize that way too much.
Yeah, you did.
So, in the words of the
Dragon
preview,
scale
want to be a pyromancer in dragon scale armor? Wielding a katana? Too much of a space between the words now. Okay, I promise I will get this out. Hang on. I've done this before. I'm a professional. So, in the words of the preview, want to be a pyromancer in dragon scale armor wielding a katana? No problem.
Items will also unlock new skills, much like they do in the video game. For example, the Spirit Tree Crested Shield will not only give you a bonus of +2 to your AC, but will also unlock the ability to, once per short rest, spend 2 position to reduce the lightning damage suffered from one attack by half. It also tells us it'll cost 300 souls, which you may remember, either from last week's coverage or from the video games themselves, you'll lose upon death.
Now that we're caught up with the latest D&D
No,
news.
no.
Yep,
There's
yep,
a
yep,
There's a
discussion
discussion
tab.
Oh, discussion. Sorry.
So
Sorry.
Ray
I
Ray
guess I'm just
clearly
really
doesn't-
eager to be done with that.
Yeah, Ray Ray clearly doesn't give a crap about Dark Souls. The rest of us that are here, though, why don't we... So, okay, Ryu, how does this compare to the video game? You are our Dark Souls expert, apparently.
Gath is now on the show, and he's more of a Dark Souls expert than I am. But I'm looking at the Katarina armor, and first of all, I am so excited that they actually made a reference to the shape of this armor. It has been lovingly dubbed as the Onion Knight armor, and the description of it in the book is, despite its unprepossessing appearance, the Katarina armor's remarkable onion shape is capable of turning aside even the most determined blows. And that just makes me happy. I do think it's interesting that they put the cost at 1,800 souls, though. That's low. That's
Okay.
low.
For that particular piece of armor, or just in general?
In general, really.
Well,
Okay.
also we don't really have a sense of what the game's Souls
Yeah.
economy is going to be like.
True.
Because I doubt you're going to... Well, I mean, obviously it's up to the DM, but I doubt you're going to hit quite as many enemies while you're playing the TTRPG version versus the video game version.
Oh, definitely. That was just something that caught my eye. Oh, they must have changed the currency output a little bit, because no way that in the video game you're only buying it for that much.
I do like the fact that in addition to the description, you also get a -1 to your charisma.
Yes, yeah. I did like the look of that as well. So, okay, as you said, Gath is the Dark Souls expert. As somebody who is now our resident Dark Souls expert, congratulations on your promotion. I'll put that in your job title. How is this shaping up in your eyes as being... Is it something that is worthy of the Dark Souls name? Is it actually something that is going to continue on the legacy? Is it matching the video game as you would have imagined it being in 5th edition?
I think it looks really good. All of the previews that they've had have been it definitely seems to portray the kind of the oppressive feel that Dark Souls has. It's very dark. It's very depressing. Yes. It's. I think it looks pretty good. Though I am by no means an expert in it by any stretch of the imagination. One thing that is interesting to me, though, is it seems like they seem to be leveraging more of Dark Souls 3. So I'm curious how much of a blend there's going to be between the 3 different games that get represented in the actual tabletop RPG. If they'll have like distinct periods, like the games have distinct periods, etc. A good example of this is anyone who's familiar with the Soul series will know that the Lothric Knight Sword comes out of Dark Souls 3, and that the Katarina armor started out in Dark Souls 1. So, very curious to see where they land with this.
So it's like they've put all the Dark Souls canon into a blender, and you've got some sort of Dark Souls canon smoothie.
Well, maybe. I don't. It's been a while since I've played 3. I don't remember if the Katarina armor is in there, but the art style is definitely more in line with 3 than 1.
Indigo, Tony, did you have anything that you wanted to say on this?
I bow to the experts.
I did want to add one.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I was just giving the floor to them just because they were a bit quiet. That was all.
I do like the mechanic in general of giving more things to items.
I do too.
That's one thing I miss from 4th edition in 5e is in 4th edition when you got to the more exotic weapons, the weapons themselves came with extra abilities and extra effects that you couldn't get from the mundane versions. And that's even something that they reincorporated into Baldur's Gate 3, the video game, is that when you equip certain weapons, they give you extra abilities just because you're using that type of weapon. And that's something they're doing with Dark Souls.
Now, we do have a Baldur's Gate 3 expert sat sort of down there who's currently trying to ignore me. There we go. Hi, Ray Ray. With your knowledge of the video games, having played through them, where you get the extra abilities from the items, is this something that you think would be a good thing to port back into base D&D in 5th edition?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
Like
cool.
on the
Okay.
one hand, on the one hand, it's a really nice thing to. I don't know how that would really. I guess you could make that work on a tabletop.
Yeah, well, they're doing it
setting.
for Dark Souls, so...
Are you
Yeah.
worried about it being too much record keeping?
Maybe. I mean, for me, it would be. I mean, what's already there is too much record keeping for me. I usually have to have a big old board with everything written down so I don't forget. But I don't know. Maybe people with good brains. Not broken brains like mine.
Yeah, at a certain point, you
And-
do have too many
Specifically.
options almost. Oh, sorry. I think we overtalked each other. Sorry.
We did. Yeah, ignore me. You can say your thing again.
At a certain point, you almost have too many options, right? So if you get another power because you put on an axe instead of a sword, I mean, it's like, okay, now I got to work it with my spells and stuff too. It's just, if you add stuff on top of it, it almost becomes saturated.
Well, and on it, I was mostly struggling with, would that then have the potential to make characters too OP? In a video game, it's easy to get away with because you're constantly changing your gear. You're constantly, oh, I just picked this up out of a chest. I'm going to swap it out for blah. In tabletop games, I don't really see players do that so much. They kind of stick with the first or second thing they got in the game. So,
Now, I
I don't
agree
know.
with you, but it's really hard to be OP in Dark Souls.
fair.
That's true. I was
Yeah,
talking in standard 5th
yeah.
edition.
Yeah, we
In
were
a
talking
normal
more standard
5e
5e.
game, in a normal 5e game, I have personally created items for my players and attached a cantrip to them or something like that, or more out of combat abilities, so that they're not so much interfering with the action economy within combat, but it'll give them, I don't know, a modify memory spell or something that would allow them to do something out of combat that didn't seem to interfere too much with how 5e ran. Now giving somebody, something that would add them 3 or 4 or 5 different types of things they could do in combat might end up bogging things down. But something simple like a cantrip or an out of combat ability or spell hasn't harmed a game that I've played when I've done that.
One other thing to note here too is by adding effects to items, especially on martial characters, it gives some much needed variety. The difference between a longsword and a warhammer, with the exception of damage types, is nothing. So now you have something that is, I don't know, on a critical hit, you push your opponent 5 feet back with a warhammer. But with a longsword, you deal an extra 1d8 damage or something like that. So having more options at a smaller level, I think, would be good. And Ray alluded to this by saying, well, most tabletop RPG players don't swap their equipment very much. Well, they don't swap their equipment because there's no reason to. There's no power curve. If I have a longsword, the only reason I'm going to change it is because there's a better one. And if everything is exactly the same, there's never going to be a reason to change it.
All right, I think unless anybody else has got anything that they want to say. All right, now sweep us out, Ray.
Okay. Now that we're caught up with the latest D&D news. Sorry. Now that we're caught up with the latest D&D news, let's dig up some Unearthed Mundana and discuss unicorns.
All right, stop it there. I saw Ryu looking for the stop button.
It's not there.
Just gotta wait for
I
the,
did not
confetti.
look for the stop button, you jerk.
Oh, it was the eyebrow that raised. I thought you might have been looking for it in 35 million tabs. So, I'm just gonna step away from
No.
the
Whenever we do
recording.
show stuff, I open up a separate window so that I only have a few tabs.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
I just
some
have
entertaining
all my
bits.
scripts in tabs and I'm just deleting them as we finish them.
Same.
That's what
Why
I do.
I have to entertain the viewers. I'm like one of the least entertaining people here, naturally speaking.
Well, we don't need to entertain Archmage. I mean, it's just him.
We have
He's going to go to bed soon anyway to abandon us.
we have
I'm the
16
booth
viewers
guy.
though.
I don't have to do that. So
I entertained everybody all morning. I think I'm done.
How are you doing the race? How are you doing on the race? Indigo, you get confetti?
Not yet. I still got 10% to go.
90. Okay.
Soul Search says ...
Dot.
Oh,
Ray,
is
how's your-
invisible.
Now we have 17 viewers. Yay!
She's an invisible squirrel.
So going a little bit further on the weapons thing, I've been looking at some Pathfinder stuff, and they have different abilities on the different weapons, and it's really cool because there's a lot of distinguishing traits on weapons that make them interesting. So like a short bow does d6 damage normally, but if you get a crit with it, you roll an extra d10 on top of that d6. So it's really
Spumpius
cool.
wants us to entertain him.
I'm sorry.
That's something I think I've missed from 5e is that choices after you choose your subclass matter very little. You
Yeah.
know? There aren't many other choices to make, and so I think that's one reason why a lot of the games just fizzle out at around 10 because you're like 10 more levels of this, and it's just the same thing again and again and again. Yeah,
So you
it's
start
when
at
I give
level
out
10.
items that do other things.
You start at level 10. You make it to level 15, and then you drop the Tarrasque from the ceiling.
Level
I guess
15,
that's one way
that
to
would be
do
kinda
it.
rough.
At level 20, it's kind of rough. Like,
I've heard people claim that at level 20 the Tarrasque is more annoying than dangerous.
That's-
I don't know
that's
if I
accurate.
believe them, but
I
That's
had a party
accurate.
of six players with the Tarrasque, and it basically ate them one after another.
Ugh.
So
I had
I
a
think you're
party
just playing your
of,
Tarrasque wrong.
of 6 level 18 characters, and they just kited it to death because it's so slow. Its movement speed
Yep.
is 30.
And then
Yep,
we had
I had
another.
a character that could take it down if every other round I dashed.
But then we had one of our players decide that he was going to make a Tarrasque.
Smoothie.
What would you call that? Smoothie
Pickle.
might be. Yeah.
Pickle?
Yeah, goblin pickle out of a Tarrasque.
No. He decided to modify the Tarrasques, and in
Oh, this one.
a would you call it like a gladiatorial type of arena?
Boss rush.
Yeah, in a boss rush. There we go. I'm trying to remember what all he had. He had a burning Tarrasque. There was a vampire Tarrasque. I think there was an undead one, or skeletal one. I don't quite remember, but and this was all in a rush. Fought them one after another.
Who did we lose? Ostron.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully he will be back shortly. How's your upload doing, Ray Ray?
Just went! Yay!
Ooh, way.
And apparently we only
Now
had
we
to
need-
murder Ostron.
Now we need Ostron back. Yeah. Up.
Look, he
That's it,
he
you-
came back to life, unlike 2 characters that he killed during the game.
Also, he's not exsanguinated.
Hey, no. Qwerty is totally taking you guys to the local cleric.
I happened off camera after the story's over. Credits I've already rolled. I mean, maybe in the sequel. Maybe in the sequel she does that.
Which,
you
by
know.
the way,
She
we've had
said
the,
she was doing it as she left.
the
I'm gonna have to mute for a couple minutes as my family has just pulled in and are gonna come through the front door.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. We did have the. I was saying that people out in there should, in the audience, should suggest show titles. This one is not going to be for the show, but definitely for the title of that episode, Math and Molasses. That's that's the name of that adventure now. So
It did
anyway,
figure
you're back,
heavily.
Ostron.
Yeah, sorry, I inadvertently hit the wrong button.
Wow.
Wrong big red button.
Mm-hmm. All right. So is everybody's uploaded? Everybody's good.
We just if Ray Ray's got a good audio environment is the thing we're waiting on here.
Yeah. No
I don't
worries.
know. If she's ready to sync up.
I was gonna say anything in this document that is to be read by Branwyn, Ryu, if you can read it.
Yep.
And we're still getting Branwyn to do the lines later.
Oh yes, yeah, we will through the magic of post-production.
Yep.
Okay, I could probably do the sync real quick and then mute again.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't
Oh,
have lines
wait,
for a little
I hear the door.
Do we hear the door? We don't hear the door.
I don't hear the door. She muted herself, so that's why I don't hear
Wow.
the door. Well, so
Yes.
200 episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah. How
You're-
many of you got over on Guard Frequency now? Near 400, surely.
Yes, we're at 3. We just did 389.
Have you got any plans for 400?
Yes, actually, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're. Was it a thumbs up that we have a good
That was a
audio
thumbs up
environment?
from.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
good.
All right.
Okay.
They're gonna.
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay, this is right over here. This is right there. Going. All right. Numbers are gonna happen. Here we go.
This is Lennon, short rest, sync 1.
This is Ostron, short rest, sync 2.
This is Ryu, short rest, sync 3.
This is Indigo, short rest, sync 4.
This is Ray Ray, short rest, sync 5.
This is Gath, short rest, sync 6.
This is Tony, short rest, sync 7. Again with the cutting me off. You're trying so hard.
It's just revenge. That's all it is. All right, and short rest in 3, 2.
Lennon,
You're gonna have to deal with it yourself, mate. I'm a little bit airborne at the moment.
I'm Branwyn for just a few minutes or a few seconds. Anyway, really sorry. Don't want to bother anyone, but could someone explain why the cave is suddenly full of flumps? Cinder, no. Oh no, you're fine. Why don't you all just settle off to the side there? I'm sure Mikey won't mind. No longer Branwyn.
Okay, just tell me if anyone's dead.
Not so far, though. I will say you're looking a little more cerulean than usual.
What? Oh, man. Alright, the first person that says anything about Smurfs is on their own with the next plague they catch.
What is going on? I think I just saw a Modron in the workshop.
all evidence so far points to a wild magic explosion, though it's probably 50-50 whether the Modron is a result of that. I keep catching them around Rostro for some reason.
Is that why I suddenly ended up in the cargo hold of the Astute moniker a second ago?
Do you have an emergency transporter recall installed in it?
No, that's not a thing.
Well, then I'd say it's a good bet the wild magic's at fault.
Well, we don't even have a wild magic sorcerer on staff. I mean, also, when's the last time anyone dusted up here? These rafters, I mean, jeez.
People! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
We really don't have time for the scrying pool just at the moment.
What? Who cares about that?
Did you really just say who cares about the scrying pool? Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling amazing. There's a unicorn in the stables out back.
Really? Is it okay? Oh, does it like peaches?
Right now it's having a bit of a stare down with the KDM's nightmare. Peaches, seems to be cowering over by the fence.
Seriously? You play with a flaming horse every day and a little horn scares you? Sometimes that dinosaur is such a wuss.
Can we keep it? I want to ride it. Please? Yes? What? If you give me some sort of crap about extra feed costs.
No, I don't think Ostrom's concerned about the taming process.
What about it? It's a magic horse with a horn. Gaff?
Don't look at me. I know the horn's great for healing magic, and I just remembered how it's a good creature, and I'm going to stop talking now.
Okay. People better start talking, or this stick is going to get some use.
I think Indigo used one in his game recently.
Oh, sweet. Hey, Indigo.
Yeah?
Nice butterflies.
Oh, thanks. They just sort of appeared.
Right. Anyway, do you know anything about unicorn taming? Ryu said you had something happen with it in a game recently.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. So the adventuring party found this unicorn, and the bard was their spokesperson. But they were a massively stereotypical bards, so they tried to seduce anything with a pulse. To be fair, they usually succeeded, but of course they tried to walk up to the unicorn, and it basically almost kicked them to death because, well, all of the bards' extracurriculars? Sorry, did I say something wrong? You look upset.
I am upset, just not with you. Some people around here seem to have been making assumptions.
Well, maybe it's not that bad. We need to find out more about unicorns.
I'm guessing Libby just got hit with the wild magic too.
I mean, it's not hard to figure out what it said, and it just brought a book. Let me just push off here and I can help.
No! You and Math Boy over there just sit in the corner and keep your mouths shut. You're in timeout. The rest of us can handle this.
Branwyn Hat. Oh, if you move the stone over there, I can see the pages too.
Great,
off,
let's
Branwyn.
see here. Unicorns have been in D&D from the very beginning. It's not hard to figure out why, either. A lot of the early monsters of D&D were pulled directly from either ancient mythology or popular fantasy. Unicorns have been fixtures in both for literally thousands of years. The first depictions of unicorns were found by archaeologists in Bronze Age carvings.
And they're pretty universal. Not only did the ancient civilizations in the Indus River Valley and Greece have references to unicorns, they showed up in ancient India, China, and Japan. The basics were a bit different. The Eastern unicorns tended to be a bit more bulked up than the Western ones, and were more often associated with death and war. But the main point... basics... It's okay. The basics were a bit different. The Eastern unicorns tended to be a bit more bulked up than the Western ones and were more often associated with death and war, but the main points were still there. 4 legs, vaguely equine shape, horn coming out of the head between the ears. And Branwyn... Western civilization is where most of the popular myths about unicorns come from at this point. Although, interesting fact, technically unicorns don't show up in Greek mythology at all. Although, interesting fact, technically unicorns don't show up in Greek mythology at all. That's because all of the ancient Greek writings about them treated them as if they were 100% real animals. The Greeks said unicorns came from India, were shaped like horses or donkeys, had 700mm or 28-inch horns, and were colored red, white, and black. They also had meat that was far too bitter to eat.
Pliny the Elder, also an ancient Greek writer, had a slightly different depiction of the unicorn. Calling it a monoceros, he described it as having a horse-like body, elephant feet, and a great black horn. The unicorn was believed for a time to show up in biblical writings as well, though in more recent years that was discovered to have been a mistranslation. One of the words in Hebrew was translated as unicorn in a few passages, but more modern research has shown the correct translation of the word should be wild ox, referring to the now extinct aurochs, ancestor of modern cows. That said, some Jewish scholars insist they may have been some sort of single-horned, antelope-type creature that existed at the time and is now extinct.
It should be noted that modern scholars have found mountains of evidence to debunk most of the other interpretations as well. We'll start with the obvious one. Mr. Pliny with the elephant-footed, black-horned unicorn was clearly talking about a rhinoceros, as was Marco Polo whenever he brought up unicorns. It's believed that a lot of the Indian and Pakistani... They're neighbors, I'm going to give myself that one. It's believed that a lot of the Indian and Persian sculptures of them were actually of rhinoceri, with various sculptors either taking artistic license or, just not getting a good look at their subjects. To be fair, getting up close to a rhinoceros is not the most healthy thing to do if you are not able to run over 30 miles an hour, and fast horses were not in most artists' budget at the time. A lot of these carvings had similar issues that the biblical translation did. Sandstone is not the best medium to use if you're trying to carve minute details. A lot of the carvings of animals were done in profile, and that meant they only bothered to carve one horn out of 2 for most animals. Further evidence is that the other Greek description of a unicorn with the 3-colored body and more horse-like features very nicely describes the modern bongo, an African antelope that was either around at the time of the ancient Greeks or had ancestors that were very similar. They generally have 2 horns, but again, artists, no budget, dangerous wife life.
Careful there.
Maybe they wanted to get out of the house. The animals, wild animals were safer than what they had to go home to.
Remember what I said? Be careful there.
1 second.
Oh, great. Now his wife came
It's
down.
his dangerous wife life.
No, it's my son over across the other side of the room. They generally have 2 horns, but again, artists, no budget, dangerous wildlife, 1500 BC.
However, that research was not done before the storytellers of the Middle Ages got a hold of it, and that's when most of the common myths about them sprang up. Because the Catholic Church was all the rage in medieval Europe, and they're all about the Virgin Mary, the two stories started getting intertwined. The medieval unicorns were depicted as dangerous, wild animals, but as soon as you put a virgin woman in front of them, they turn into docile, tameable critters with magical powers of healing.
Most of those powers of healing revolved around poison. Several myths said unicorns could purify water sources with their horns, and the horns themselves were the key to preventing being poisoned. That created a brisk Middle Eastern black market trade in cups made of unicorn horns. Unfortunately, in reality, those horns usually came from poor narwhals out of the ocean, but it's where the tight spiral nature of the horns in modern depictions originated. Powdered unicorn horn, called alicorn, was also said to totally eliminate poison or disease in any drink it was added to.
And all of that brings us to the Dungeons & Dragons version. D&D unicorns have remained largely unchanged since 1st edition, and they're almost always in the very first Monster Manual type D&D unicorns have remained largely unchanged since 1st edition, and they're almost always in the very first Monster Manual type resource that's published for whatever edition. Waiting for the cursor to move. They're nearly always fey creatures, but even when they aren't explicitly fey, they always... Darn it. They are nearly always fey creatures, but even when they aren't explicitly fey, they're always a said... Always a said. What does that mean?
I'm not sure they are.
They're nearly always fey creatures, but even when they aren't explicitly fey, they're always said to be closely associated with them, mostly speaking to dryads, sprites, and sylphs rather than material creatures. Speaking, by the way, is telepathy. They are also immune to most evil magic, get heavy protection from all magic, and are totally immune to poisons and diseases. And Branwyn time. They prefer to make their homes in forests and will become fierce predators. I almost said predators.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
Nah, it's not really true.
Not
No.
of the forests.
No.
Or the jungles.
They prefer to make their homes in forests and will... I'm going to start that again because someone was laughing. And
I was going to say, I can still hear him laughing back there.
Waiting for him to stop.
You got this.
You mean Branwyn's got this? Yeah.
Yes, Branwyn's got this.
They prefer to make their homes in forests and will become fierce protectors of those forests. They are innately good creatures and can automatically detect evil creatures, whom they will hunt down very aggressively, particularly if they're in the unicorn's home forest. For the most part, they're solitary, but they can take a mate and will do so. Nope. But they can take a mate and they will do it if...
I mean...
We're going to have so many bloopers. It'll be great.
We're also going to have letters after that last line.
Well, yeah. And this is Branwyn's line, right?
Yeah.
She can mess up
Oh,
as
that's
much as she
true.
wants. She's going to be just wiped out. So
But they
Take
can
all
take a
mates you
mate,
want.
and when they do, it's for life. There. I'm not saying it again. Fight me.
oh, great! Now Brandon's laughing again.
But it doesn't matter because
So it doesn't matter because
Is
Brandon's line. Just keep going.
As far as their relationship with non-Fae, they're known to get along with elves, and sometimes an elf will be able to use them as a mount. Beyond elven kind, the only chance of getting along with a unicorn is by being a good aligned maiden. Anything they don't like, they try to skewer with their horn. Unless the fight's Unless the fight's going wrong for them, and they can teleport away and heal themselves.
Unicorns in the lore are generally treated as the ultimate embodiment of good. In several cases, they are either a central part of a good-aligned god's heraldry, or they are used as messengers of those gods. Killing unicorns is frowned upon by most sapient societies, and the only creatures who really consider it a good thing are the devils. Apparently, having a unicorn horn toothpick in the nine hells is something of a status symbol. Unfortunately, devils aren't the only ones who can benefit from dead unicorns. The horn officially can be used as an ingredient to create a large number of healing potions, but it has been used as a... Okay, repeating the same thing. Okay, the horn officially can be used as an ingredient to create a large number of healing potions, but it has been used as a key ingredient in multiple rituals requiring a lot of magic. Unicorn horns, when priced, have been said to command anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 gold on the black market.
While their basic natures haven't changed a lot for 5th edition, the unicorns did get an upgrade of sorts. Now, celestial beings, unicorns are also one of the lowest CR legendary creatures, including having both legendary and lair actions available to them. Their forests are enchanted and said to exude a pervasive calm on all creatures within them. Open flames that can get out of control can't stay lit either, and magical healing works better than normal. The whole maiden requirement isn't a thing anymore either. Now unicorns will work with anyone. Now unicorns will work with just anyone who's far enough on the side of good that they don't raise any eyebrows or demons. And if you happen to kill a unicorn, there may be actual gods who will hunt you down looking for an explanation.
Unicorns are atypical monster manual entries for a lot of these reasons. Even if you aren't using alignment per se, murder hoboing a unicorn is a fast way to get nearly everyone to hit you. Unless a group is trying to cheat their way through Avernus and getting good with the devils, unicorns won't be the first, second, or really where... Wow. Unicorns won't be the first... Hold on. Okay. Unicorns won't be first, second, or really anywhere on the list of things the party should be killing. They do make excellent story elements, though. Having a creature try to capture or use parts of a unicorn for something is a good way to signal they're evil or under evil influence. Also, there are multiple ways unicorns and their forests can boost healing and other beneficial mechanics. For example, having a low-level party get an assist from a unicorn is a good idea if they're looking to face off against an enemy that might be tough for them. Facing them in an actual unicorn...
Could you say that last one again? That sounded
Tough
odd.
for them.
Having a low-level party get an assist from a unicorn is a good idea if they're looking to face off against an enemy that might be tough for them. Facing them in an actual unicorn's forest is another way to provide a passive boost to a party that might be weaker on the combat end of things. Remember, healing magic gets boosts in their forests. Or, they could just show up randomly along with butterflies and flumps.
And Brandon says, no, it's okay, they're gone now, I think. Cinder's checking around, though. No, sweetie, that's Mikey's shoe. You leave that.
I know the answer to this question, and I'm angry.
No,
that's
that's
sorry. Yep.
state
I missed
direction.
the asterisks. Sorry. Sorry. So apparently, people's personal lives don't matter anymore as far as the unicorns are concerned.
Yeah, I guess I was working with outdated information in my last game. Too many additions in my brain. I'll have to pay more attention to that.
Good then. I'm going to go see my new best friend in the stables.
Ooh.
No, you stay here.
What? Why? Hey, who's making assumptions now? Just because I'm a drow?
It has nothing to do with you being a drow and everything to do with that fuzzy thing in your pocket. Back away.
It's lint?
Uh-huh. I'm not having my new best friend try to kill my current one. You wait here. Hey, beautiful. So let's get the big stuff out of the way first. Are you a side saddle person, or am I going astride?
Hey, if she's gone, what do we do about the Scrying Pool?
It's not like she's the only one who can operate it. Though now I'm wondering if we should just let it overflow.
Now, she wasn't being mean. It's just in case the unicorn misinterprets your relationship with the killer DM.
But you guys all know I'm good, right?
Yeah, totally. I'd absolutely argue that with a straight face to any jury, as long as that jury wasn't made up of unicorns.
that's not as supportive as you probably think. All right, let's go see what kind of messages we're dealing with.
Still stuck up here? Hello? Ostrom, can you just... Oh, are you asleep?
Please state the nature of the mathematical inquiry.
Yep, great. Alright, stop it there.
There it is.
I love that so much.
Also, you
Yeah, speak for
canonically now
yourself.
have a unicorn in Heroes
I don't
Rival.
want you getting shish kebabbed.
I got the confetti. So,
I'm saying thank you in Chinese Sign Language.
So, someone's just come into chat and said the psychology needs a new field of study involving this kind of people. I am honestly not sure what that means. So, if you want to clarify. Archmage William says, I remember the unicorn in Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Great mount, but it walks back to where it came from once you dismount it.
Aw.
Kind of seems like a terrible mount, really.
Oh, I am freezing. I am so cold.
Oh, not long now, only one segment. Well, I say not long, I guess it
I
depends
know.
on your uploads.
Yeah.
I'll
Right about
wait
now is when
until
it all falls apart.
I'll wait until
Uh-huh.
we're done here before I go get my sweater on.
Not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
uploads, but also bloopers and capability to read.
Yeah, right around the feedback portion of every show.
Every show.
I've ever been on.
Mhm.
It's when it all crashes and burns.
Usually
Words
it's
are very hard.
the
It's not
scripted
like
part
we
of the
haven't been-
closing.
It's not like we've been recording and talking all day or anything. So
Right. So, also, right now, Ostrom has to write some
hear a
community
cat.
questions. So,
What do you think I'm doing? Typing
I-
out
I'm-
missives to my mother?
I mean,
Yes.
honestly, I don't know.
Dear
Mother,
Mother, what
what
did
do
you
you think
think
of
about
NFTs?
the Conflict Games Adventurers Pack? Are you going to buy them for my birthday? Did you like it when I killed Lennon and Tony during the random D&D part of the show?
I used math.
It
You'd be very
it
proud.
was-
Yay!
It
I
was
get
my
to read
favorite
Squirrel's
thing
feedback.
ever.
I'm so excited.
I have had a sneeze building for the last 2
This is
segments.
the worst.
No,
We will see
Don't do it.
if
You'll-
it comes
You'll
out.
shut
Have
down
you-
Twitch.
have you heard
Hello,
his
cat.
sneezes? The funny thing is, when he is in the far background of Ryu's recording, it not only maxes out Audacity, the microphone cuts because it's like, whoa, that decibelage is too much.
Hello, cat.
They had to move because of the tremors he was causing. It shook foundations loose. The side of the house was cracking everywhere.
Gotta sink some pillars underneath the
Yep.
down to bedrock. Yeah,
That's what happened.
I can relate. I do that, except I do it like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah, luckily Gath just does it the once, and then we replace the windows. That's,
Just the one time.
Yeah. Keeps the budget down, which is nice.
It's a 1.5 atmosphere overpressure.
Lennon,
Yes.
check the questions, please.
Do I have to?
you do. It is part of your job description.
Yep, that's cool. We'll go with that.
Oh, hello.
And
Hello.
Ryu, just to let you know, Branwyn has some clothing lines as well that you need to do. She also has
I'll
some
make
feedback,
sure
so
to not worry about messing them up.
that'll be fine. Yeah.
Here, just so everybody can get it out of their system.
Oliver!
He found something on my desk. I don't know what.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like he's trying to swallow something.
I don't know what to do with his tail. Oh, here he goes. Okay. No, that's too much, cat. That's too much.
He hasn't completely turned around though.
Too
so
much.
we got
Bye-bye.
a thumbs up from Indigo there. Anybody in Twitch who is tuning in to watch the Baldur's Gate 3 roleplay, as soon as we finish this segment, that will be coming up next. It was 10 p.m.
After I get my sweater
-ish. Yeah, depends on when we finish recording the show as to when we can go and do the next bit. So. Just scrolling through chat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Hobo Thulu and Gath were arguing about 4th edition or 3.5. That was interesting.
And then Hobo Thulu went to bed.
And then Hobo
No,
Thulu went to bed.
so that story is a bit of a legend in my Friday night crew. I joined their group, and apparently the final fight in 3rd edition. Has everybody here heard the tale of Tarask the Wizard?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's an epic tale. You should go look up Tarask the Wizard. This is kind of on the same scale as Tarask the Withered. Boy,
Okay.
Scrying Pool is going to be fun. Basically, they were fighting several Tarasks. I don't remember if it's 3 or 4 or 6 or however many. But these Tarasks were given, I think, the Swarm property, which required you to kill every single one of them in the same round, or they would all resurrect with full hit points at the start of the next round.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was
Yeah,
not a
that's-
part of this game, but tales are still told of it.
I agree with your assessment, Rio, and just banned them. So. Yeah, according to Twitch, we've been live for nearly 13 hours at this point. So.
4 more to go.
4.5.
Well, Yeah, 4.5.
That's
We're still
true.
going to get through Scrying Pool.
That's true.
Do you have confetti yet, by the way?
Almost. 99.
So close.
Oh,
So
so close.
close.
I'm staring daggers at it. Actually, no, I'm not. My eyes are drying out.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't stand against that. Who need your eyes? I was gonna say someone just posted in chat almost there. Look, Gath. It was Gath. Hi, Gath. We still do actually
Yay!
have
Confetti!
we've actually got a lot of viewers. I guess that's what we call them now.
I was
who
going to say, they have
stuck
stuck with us. They are the heroes right now.
Hardcore. Yep.
And they're not even all people we paid.
No.
They're not even all the plants.
Some people got paid for this? Wait, what? What?
Yeah, my salary
I
got
missed-
doubled last year.
Yeah. 20%
Yeah.
raises all around. Yeah.
Mine constantly spikes between 0 and 0.
Exactly.
Are we ready?
0% of 0 is still 0.
Uh-huh.
Stumpius says he's here.
And we are glad.
Yeah, but Gath also has the benefit of occasionally getting fired. So,
The
That's
benefit.
the joke!
The benefit of occasionally getting. I mean,
well, yeah, if you get fired, you can collect unemployment.
that's true. Yeah. So that's part of the
You always
benefits
get
package
rehired
around
back
here.
at and you always get rehired back at a higher salary. So
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Percentage increase.
right.
All right. So I think we've just got. Yep. If you want to push the button, we'll do it.
all right, here comes some numbers.
6, 64, 65, 66, 67. This is Lennon Scrying Pool, Sync 1.
This is Ostron, Scrying Pool Sync 2.
This is Ryu, Scrying Pool Sync 3.
This is Indigo, Scrying Pool Sync 4.
This is Ray Ray, Scrying Pool Sync 5.
This is Gath, Scrying Pool, Sync 6.
This is Tony, Scrying Pool 6-7.
And Scrying Pool in 3, 2.
Last time, we asked you, the listeners out there in the multiverse, obviously go and tell wizards, but which feats do you think you could do? Obviously, go and tell wizards, but which feats do you think could do with an overhaul? Could Grapple use a bit of a boost, or are you happy using it to live out your UFC fantasies? What do you think of the approach to Dark Souls? What do you think the approach to Dark Souls is going to be? Is this an attempt to meld Dark Souls into 5e gameplay, or are they going to use the 5e rule set to recreate the feel and play? Or are they going to use the 5e rule set to recreate the feel and play of the video game? Do you have any opinions on the change of leadership at Wizards of the Coast and or Hasbro? Do you have any Do you have any good tinfoil hat theories around this that you want to share?
And Ghoul the Ghoul King from our website writes in saying, "Hello again, and advanced congratulations on your impending 200th episode. With regards to feats, Grappler definitely needs a rework, but other fighting style based feats like Charger and Dual Wielder should definitely be spruced up as well. Feats like Sharpshooter, Crossbow Expert, Great Weapons Master, and Polearm Master are so good that they're staples of many combat optimized builds, and other feats should be elevated to similar levels of effectiveness." On the Pierce de Resistance segment, I cannot say that correctly, so I'm just going to do it as he has written there.
Yeah.
On the Pierce de Resistance segment, is it just me or did Rostro make an error with regards to stacking resistances of the same damage type? As per page 197 of the PHB, multiple instances of resistance or vulnerability that affect the same damage type only count as one instance. The example given seems to contradict the example given in the book. I apologize if I heard that wrong, though. I may have failed my perception check. Anyway, thank you to the entire Heroes Rise team for making the show as great as it is, and I look forward to all the festivities on the 12th.
Bloodlake wrote in on Discord to say, with regard to the die horribly and repeatedly question, I've always considered that death is a possibility in D&D. It adds to the tension and decision making, but it's not really expected. I've always viewed the game like a feature film. The main characters are generally there all the way through, the story is about them, and they are the heroes. Knowing this enables you to get immersed within the character and the game, come up with backstories, and at least attempt to roleplay the character you've created. I wouldn't mind playing a more deadly game. I enjoy tabletop war games after all, but I'd want to know what to expect going in and probably wouldn't spend it. I wouldn't mind playing a more deadly game. I enjoy tabletop war games after all, but I'd want to know what to expect going in and probably wouldn't spend much time on fleshing out a character. It's then just a list of stats and abilities to try and win the game, not the same as an immersive role-playing game. As several others have suggested, probably a nice idea for a one-shot, and our one-shots tend to last multiple sessions. Those sessions though serious thought would have to be given to what happens if a character dies early on. I wouldn't be happy to give up one of my few spare evenings to die within the first half hour and spend the next 3 hours watching everyone else play. P.S. Good show as always.
Chivalry Bean on Discord says, I think the current grapple rules are elegant relative to some That's not what he said.
He does not say that remotely.
He might have.
It does sound like him, though.
Chivalry Bean on Discord says, I think the current grapple rules are elegant relative to some implementations. However, the game isn't tuned greatly for things that aren't in the hit it with a weapon or hit it with a spell categories when it comes to combat. I've not played Dark Souls, but I hear from a fine audio editor that the games are... I've not played Dark Souls, but I hear from a fine audio editor that the games are fair in the sense that they don't cheat. If you fight a dude and he kills you, you can learn from that and expect the same fight next time. It won't randomly be different. I think the same should apply on tabletop, dice RNG notwithstanding. Creatures should follow rules more carefully than standard 5th edition, being that death is on the table more. And I'm leaving this space for the third question intentionally blank.
Squirrel on Discord says, as a novice beginner D&D player, I'm intrigued by the concept of Dark Souls as a tabletop RPG, but also very curious to see how the grind of Dark Souls games translates, or is modified, into a more 5th edition application. And what about the frustration of playing Dark Souls? When I've had to work through the same area and reapproach the same boss for the 4th time, each time with less max health than the last time? What about accidentally drinking too many Estus flasks because you hit the wrong button? Not that I want these aspects in a 5th edition game, but they are pretty iconic to my Dark Souls experience.
And 74E35 on Discord says, Happy 200th episode. Thanks for all the hard work, laughs, and good conversations. It's been fun watching your live stream. Oh, they must have done this live. Cool. The change in leadership is very interesting. The fact that the new head is coming from an Xbox background is especially telling. Will this translate to new D&D AAA titles or a virtual tabletop for Xbox Game Pass? As for feats, I'll be filling out the survey when I get the time. thanks for the heads up on how long it takes. However, I'm kind of afraid if Wizards However, I'm kind of afraid that if Wizards' track record of late is anything to go off of, they will take all the feedback and then just trip over their own feet as they try to change direction again in the middle of the dance. Here's hoping we can all get lucky and those inspiring leaders once again regain their keen mind and stop grappling with their skilled and observant sentinels of 5th edition.
I'm not sure if I should be angry about that last line or not.
I was waiting for it.
It's not puns.
Technically not, but...
TR Knight on Discord says, "Congrats on 200 episodes. The podcast has been a joy to listen to and has improved my D&D gaming both as a player and a DM, but my wallet has really struggled at times. Enjoying watching the live stream and finally putting faces to the voices I listen to so regularly."
So, to address the large blinking machine in the room...
Rostro made a mistake.
Yeah, there was an incorrect example in last week's short rest. I believe the intention was to point out that if you have multiple different types of resistance, they do stack. But the example that we actually used was 2 examples of the same resistance, which, as Ghoul the Ghoul King pointed out, do not stack. So, thank you, Ghoul the Ghoul
Well, I mean...
Thank you, Ghoul the Ghoul King. Your feedback is appreciated. Your correction has been noted. You'll be banned from any future comments, and Rostro hates you.
Don't listen to him. He's just cranky.
Well,
Ostro
Rostro,
will kill you in
Also-
the next game.
With math.
Rostro
Also,
hates...
if you have 2 different sources
on.
of... If you have 2 different sources... Oh, sorry.
Oh, Rostro hates everybody but me.
Oh crap.
Also, if you have 2 different sources of having damage, they stack as well. So you can get your half damage from a resistance and then half damage from something like uncanny dodge. So that would get you your quarter damage as well.
Yeah, because at one point I was playing a tiefling rogue, and after a certain point I could just ignore fireballs because there was no way they could do any damage to me.
All right, Tony, take us on.
And in general feedback, Rebel on Discord says, "Happy anniversary. I've enjoyed the first 200 episodes. Here's to many more."
Now, I know Rebel's a feature over on Guard Frequency, but he's like the Sean Newboy over here. Just short, very little. I like it.
Yeah, that
Always
job's,
positive.
yeah, that job's taken over there. He's just come over here and filled that role here. I mean, I think that's good. That's good. Yeah.
He's not always positive. There have been a couple of times where he's thrown out a criticism or 2, but in general, he's sort of the consistent shining light.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's none of us.
Yeah.
All right, take us on.
And that brings us to this week's community questions. How great are we, huh? What was your favorite episode 200 segment? And what do you make of the NFT rigmarole? Do you think Wizards of the Coast is actually going to do something with them, or was this just them making sure to legally protect their intellectual property? And what do you think about powers associated with weapons and equipment? Would you like to see more of that in 5th edition, or is it introducing too much complexity in bookkeeping? Details on how you can get in touch coming up next.
And so this
There it is.
Well timed. Right after Ryu turned on her microphone. That was just perfect.
Yep.
I also love the fact that Ryu briefly went off camera, so I thought for a second the seas had just blown her out the window.
Yeah, overpressure wave. I was waiting for this segment to go off the rails, and here it is.
Blowing
It
off the
usually
rails.
happens
Blowing
around
off the
this
rails.
time, too.
Yep.
I tried so hard.
You
And the
shouldn't have
best thing
tried
is,
so hard. If you'd done it 5 seconds earlier, we would have seen your head go, what? Well, yeah, and you might have flown off the camera still, but I mean, you know, it wouldn't have shown up on the track.
the best thing is this is also visual. We've got a visual record
Yeah.
of this happening.
She's dying.
Yeah, and neither Ryu or Red ever
Ryu's
covered.
not going to be able to read a segment for the next 10 minutes.
You want me to read it?
No. We'll get her to read it. She's just gonna...
Okay.
I just feel I should also point out
Collect yourself, girl.
For the stream at this point, the music that Ryu always sings about this time, I decided to put it on for the stream. I know that you guys aren't listening on Twitch, but we got that playing. We're a minute and a half. We're gonna run out, Ryu. So...
He needs to stop laughing too, okay? Okay, I'm crying a little bit.
Pull up a clip. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a call.
This is what you get after 13 hours online.
Uh-huh.
We're just
It only really takes
little
two.
sleep
It
drug.
is really the other extra 11
We're all
hours.
getting
is
slap
just-
happy.
The other 11 hours is gravy. It's extra.
Oh, I have
All
four
right.
more.
I was gonna say, let's try to recenter.
And so this brings us to the end of the 200th entry into our chronicle. We'll be taking next week off because of holidays here in the US, so we'll be back with our 201st entry on March 2nd. But before we go, we want to know, for you, dear listener, how was the show?
Whatever your thoughts or feelings, let us know. You can comment on this show's post on our website, heroesrisepodcast.com. You can find us on all good social media, Let's start that over.
Heroes Ride podcast has
It's a frequent one, yeah.
a good established record on here, though.
Whatever your thoughts or feelings, let us know. You can comment on this show's post on our website, heroesrisepodcast.com. You can find us on all good social media at heroesrised&d. You can email us, sendingstone@heroesrisepodcast.com, or you can chat with us live and join the Heroes Rise community at discord.heroesrisepodcast.com. This show isn't just a one-way conversation, and we always love to hear from you. So take a minute and tell us your thoughts.
Make sure you're never caught in the middle of a quest without us by subscribing to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and anywhere else good podcasts can be found, or through our feed at feeds.heroesrisepodcast.com.
And if you like the sound of what we do, there are many ways you can help support us. Heroes Rise is an official Dice Envy affiliate. Get yourself some incredibly awesome dice that will not only make you the envy of your table, but will also help your favorite D&D podcast. Just use our affiliate link, heroesrisepodcast.com/Dice Envy. And be sure to enter the code HeroesRise at checkout and save yourself an extra 10%.
You can also help support the show by subscribing to our Patreon. Tiers start from $4 per month and give you raw recordings of the show before the Wednesday release, Heroes Rise t-shirts, pins, and a super secret patron lounge on our Discord server.
Plus, occasionally you might get dragged into a recording or two of some dissonant whispers. Lucky you! To become a patron, just head on over to patreon.com/HeroesRiseD&D.
Patreon.com.
Patreon. Okay, sorry. To become a patron, just head on over to patreon.com/HeroesRiseD&D.
And if a financial donation isn't your thing, that's cool too. Every time you share our show with friends, family, or your friendly local gaming stores, you help our audience grow. And that's ultimately why we do this. Thanks so much for all your likes, shares, and retweets.
We want to take a moment to thank our social media mage, Ray, our Conjuration Cabal, Bloodlake, Indigo Spectre, and Garth Memvar, all of our guest hosts, including Tony, that came on to help us with the show, and our audio alchemists, of course, Mikey, Bramwin, and Tomasnes. A special thanks go to not only all of our Patreon supporters, but our halfling moneylenders Marty Chidoric, the Despoiler, the Hobbyist, Randall Evans, Brewhammer the Sabi, Rat Queen, and Amber Squirrel Craning. Vince Sept for all of the awesome music you've heard throughout the show. Be sure to check him out at vincesept.bandcamp.com. Also, Kevin McLeod of Incomtech for Volatile Reaction that was played during our tabletop RPG segments. And finally, Low of Lowe's Layer, the designer of our banners and avatars. You can find him on Twitter at RealLarryD. No, you can't. That's the old line. Beep, beep. You can find him on Twitter at Lowe's_layer and Facebook at facebook.com/Lowe'sLayer. But above all, we want to thank all of you for tuning in and listening to our tales not only this evening, but for the past 200 episodes. And until our paths shall cross again, fare thee well, brave adventurers.
Did you take like 2 breaths during that thing?
You know what?
At all?
I do audiobooks for a living. I can do very long sentences with very little breath. So
Very long sentence.
So, as
Anyway.
an aside, Are we cutting?
I cut it. I
We cut.
received the cut.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, is the aside something you want to tell Twitch, or is this just as an aside?
I can tell Twitch unless you don't want them to know about the stuff that was wrong on our website.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. That'll be fine. Anyway, so coming up next is Ray Ray is taking two of these people, Gath and Ryu, and also Tomasines on a roleplay playthrough. That's actually quite hard to say. Of
Blah, blah,
Baldur's
blah,
Gate
blah.
3. That's going to be for the next 4-ish hours, and that'll round out the show. So from all of us here, except those four, who you're going to see very, very shortly, good night, and we'll be right back.
Bye.